Hello, everyone. Anyone? I can't even tell if anyone's on yet. 1 second. I'm putting in my contact lens. No one here yet. Okay, good. I'm not going to put it on. Okay, I got one in. Let me get the other one in. Hello there. Whoever's here, I'll be right there. I've got the air conditioning on. So let me know if that's disruptive. How bad is the air conditioning sound? Because that's going to be a problem. Because then I'll have to turn it off while I'm doing the live. Oh, I'm over here putting in my contact lens. And then I'll start sweating. So because I'm seeing people online, like they do a live and they're selling. They do that on Poshmark, and I see it on TikTok. People selling not only clothes, I mean everything. So 1 sec. And I have too much junk. I'm a kind of a hoarder. I have OCD, bipolar OCD, whatever. Who knows what I have? But I kind of hoard. But at least I'm a conscientious hoarder, because it gets to a point where I've got too much stuff that I really like. I'll pick it up thinking, oh, I could be useful someday. I know this happens to a lot of people. I got to fix that camera. You buy something or you pick up something like at a thrift shop thinking, oh, it'll come in useful, or then you never use it and it's just sitting there gathering dust. And if you multiply that by, exponentially, whatever, you just end up having a lot of junk. And me wanting to teach art, like, not that I'm an art teacher, but I like to teach. I definitely know that I enjoy teaching. So sometimes I think, oh, through the ministry, maybe on Sundays after the mass, we could start having like an art, not class really, but an art fun time, and we could continue talking about, nice things for the children. But for the kids, mainly geared towards the children, so that they enjoy church. Because church, let's face it, is boring to kids. I was like going to church, because I had to, in high school and stuff. So if church isn't fun and including other healthy activities, it doesn't have to be, fun like in the sense that it has to be sinful fun. If you want to start getting religious about it, I don't want to start talking like that. But good healthy fun after mass. They'll have a little snack, and either parents can enjoy too. They could all be a part of it, and just people hanging out more and having healthy conversations rather than who knows what, they go home and get on the PlayStation and start killing people or whatever. So blah blah blah. I went on my tangent. I forget the whole. Anyway, so my point is I got too much hoarding. I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but anyway. So I got to sell stuff. I see people on all the time on TikTok and Poshmark, which is a venue for selling clothing, used or new clothing. You've got the people there doing their lives, regular looking people like me, mostly women, holding up, I'm selling this today, and I'll throw in, and it actually looks kind of fun. I mean, if I get sales, even better, but I'm going to try it. But I'm a little nervous. Now, it's not hard. I just get on like I am now. And the hard part is having everything prepared next to me, like the clothes I really want to sell, have it right there, have a plan in my head what I'm going to say. That's the hard part, but just get back. We're back. Okay. A little glitch in the internet. That was my end. I looked and we had no internet. I've been having trouble with the internet lately, but now I'm not sure this camera is the best. Yeah, it is. It's the regular webcam, 720 pixels. And anyway, so for example, I'll be on there. I'm just going to do a practice run. So I'll have the clothes all prepared and ready, that's, preparing for the live. And then, so here is one of the items I'm going to sell. For example, these are used jeans. People will buy them. If you say, for example, and see on the live, I could throw in like, oh, if you buy these jeans, I'm going to throw in a pair of sunglasses for free, or, you know, stuff like that. I mean, they're used, but they're comfortably worn in. See, that's a good thing to use on the live. Well, here's a nice pair of jeans. They're size, oh, actually, no, I'm not selling these. They're a little big on me, but I actually like these. Yeah, I needed a size smaller, but they only had this size, and I really liked them. So I could either gain weight or take them in. You know, it's easier to gain weight. But so I'm not, but let's pretend I was selling these. These are brand new, actually. I just bought these, but they're brand new jeans that have been comfortably worn in. So see, they're in good condition. They have a little bit of a flare. I mean, for the right price, I'll sell them. I got them on sale, but they're Sam Edelman, who's a, you know, a designer. He's not a fancy schmancy, you know, he just makes regular plain things, but he's good. So I'm going to sell these for, I don't remember what I paid for them, but of course my goal is to get rid of stuff. So I'm not necessarily trying to make a lot of money. I want to lose money getting rid of stuff. You know, they'll have to pay for shipping. So I'll have to, that's the other thing. I got to calculate the shipping because I don't know what the, you know, when I used to sell a lot, I already knew the shipping because I did it often. But now I don't know what the costs are for shipping anymore. I'm sure they've gone up since the last time I've done this. But I've never done a live where I'm like, you know, clearance sale today, you know, bargain bin, get it, you know, etc. So that's that. Any advice, please? One person who's there. You might be the one who just watches and never says anything. I don't know if you're the same person or if you're like different people that happen to only have one. I only had one viewer. Now I have two. I always have one viewer. Always. And I always say, is it that's the mystery viewer? Is it one viewer that's always the one viewer that's the one viewer that's always on every live that doesn't say anything? Or are they different people that happen to be on the live and they're the only one? I don't know. So, but if you're the mystery viewer, you know who you are. You're the mystery viewer. Probably my father. Daddy, if that's you, stop spying on me. I think he knows I have an account, but oh, I keep getting junk texts. Ugh. You know, the nice thing about getting the cell phone, when cell phones started coming out, was, oh, yay, no more spam. Because the landlines have just become, they had become just spam lines. People calling, trying to sell you stuff. It was like constant. So you never wanted to answer the phone. And unless you had caller ID, you didn't know who was calling. So it might be a friend. So you'd answer anyway. And then, oh, it's a. So with the cell phones, it was finally, yay, I'll just give my cell phone to my friends. And then I know not to ever answer my landline, you know. But we still keep the landlines for some reason. They're the only private one. The non-corded, the corded landlines, the just tidbit of my side tangent. The plain old telephones with the wires and the cords that you've got a cord to the telephone and a cord to the wall, those are private. They're very difficult to hack. I think there is a way to hack them, but you got to know a lot. Whereas the cell phones and the cordless telephones, anywhere where you're using a cordless kind of phone, they're very easy to overhear and listen to. You know, if you don't care, you don't care. I know that, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't have anything interesting to, you know. So it's you. I miss you. Oh, hello, little big boy, little pig. Okay, hi there. Yeah, I come on not often. I don't do ASMR anymore. I should. I've got my nails. I was considering. Can you guys hear me okay with the air conditioning back there? Let me know, because otherwise I got to turn it off. I got, look, maybe it's a little freebie. I had my nails done. Oh, I forgot that. Unfortunately, I got to put the telephone. I've got to put the microphone by the camera so that I could have this close with my nails. And so so I was thinking of doing that, but I don't know why I don't like doing ASMR planned. You know, I mean, yeah, accidental ASMR is nice. So maybe this is accidental ASMR. Planned ASMR, I'd have the camera right up close like this when, like maybe I see, and then like planning the whole ASMR thing, I just start to think this is weird, you know, and so I don't, here we go. I don't do it. And then now I'm doing it on this channel. I should do this on the ASMR channel, you know, because I don't even get paid on this channel. So I do everything wrong. I do everything backwards. Maybe I should go over to the ASMR, not you started. You didn't even say ASMR. You said I missed you. I'm assuming you mean the ASMR because most of the people on this channel followed me over from the ASMR channel. So maybe I went off on a tangent that was not even. Well, this will keep you here if you're an ASMR person. Oh, and I have this acrylic thing. So see, I'm doing this now. So why is it so hard for me to end this live, go over to the ASMR channel where I get money for it and do it? And I don't know why. I guess I feel it's kind of weird to get paid for just tapping my nails or whatever. Oh, thank you. Oh, from the sewing channel? Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of you said you started when you were in grammar school and you grew up watching me. That's awesome. I'm like, you know, to someone or ones, a few people in the world, I'm like a, you know, a what do you call it? Like romper room or whatever, or any of those shows. Anyway, enough. I wasn't planning to do ASMR. I got a plan for my sales event, but maybe I will, you know. I don't know why I just don't get into the ASMR anymore. I did like the first 1 or 2 videos. I was like, oh, awesome ASMR. You know, this is so easy way to make money. I guess I thought it was. And it's actually not, especially because everybody wants to do it. So, but, so you know what? I think I'll just do what I used to do. Just have a regular plain old channel. If I accidentally do ASMR, even better. And that way I'm not expected to do anything. That's why I don't like the ASMR channel. When I'm expected to do, I get nervous. First of all, I'm not blaming the audience. That's why they're there. That's why I open the ASMR channel. But yeah, the expectation of doing it, and then maybe it won't come out right. Or whereas here, I'm not expected to do it, so it might come out even better because I'm not planning, you know, or whatever. So anyway, a little more of that. I hope you enjoyed that. Alone got me through some. Oh, a lot of people do it, but it comes naturally. Yeah, and rid of that. Okay, I don't know how to. And then I don't know sometimes the computer acts weird or whatever, and I just I can't do this. So I'm trying to grow it. I found a squash seed. You see, this is how hoardy I am. Like, okay, I somehow ended up with a squash seed, you know. So I'm cleaning, you know, the hoarding. I call it hoarding. It's stuff I thought I needed that just ended up not getting used and just sitting there. But I guess it turns into hoarding eventually. But I found a squash seed, and I know myself. I probably ate a squash, or no, it wouldn't have because a cooked seed can't grow. But at some point, I happened upon a nice squash, and I know myself. I keep seeds from fruits or something or a vegetable, something that I've eaten that's delicious or something that I think looks. I just keep the seeds, and I always say I'm going to grow it. And I never, you know, usually never do, or I do, and the plant ends up dying. But so, but one time I grew a squash, and it actually grew squashes, like 3 squashes. It was not a, you know, bumper crop or anything, but it was exciting because usually the fruit that you buy has been, you know, genetically, not GMO necessarily, but has been genetically crossed with others, you know. So that actual seed will probably produce crab apples. If you eat a delicious, gorgeous apple and you plant that seed, more often than not, you'll get crab apples. It's not that, you know, it passes on that beauty. You know, they usually have to crossbreed with different trees to get a certain kind of apple that looks pretty. And anyway, so I stumbled upon a squash seed at some point. So like, no, I should have thrown it out, you know, or whatever, but no. So now I'm planting it. It's in water and wrapped up in it's actually a coffee filter, a natural coffee filter. I just wrapped the squash seed up in it And it's, in a day or two, there will be a little sprout, and then I'll plant it, and it'll probably grow like my watermelons I just planted. They grew leaves and flowers. And I even tried to cross because you have the male flower and the female flower. There were plenty of ants walking all over the thing. So passing the pollen from the males to the female flowers. Anyway, I got like one teeny watermelon this big out of one of the plants, I planted like 10 of them, but they grow. They're kind of nice. It's like a cover. They cover the wherever you planted it. So it's like ivy that's just growing into a mass patch, like a pumpkin patch, but it's watermelon. Same look, but it's just in a pot. It's in a potted plant. I don't really have a yard. Okay, I just gotta. Anyway, so we'll see if I grow some squashes. But that one time I got those squashes, and then one time I planted. That's why I happened enough that all my plants die. But one time I planted an apple tree, an apple plant, and it grew and grew, and it was growing so well without much help. Those are the kind of plants I do well with. So it just kept growing, and I'd water it a little bit. It was in a pot, and then it turned into like a small potted tree. And, so my parents said, oh, that's a nice tree. Actually, we need a tree on our property. We have to put some shady or whatever. And so they planted the apple tree into their yard up in New York at the time. They don't live there anymore. And the apples started growing. They were crab apples, but they were delicious. And I could tell it was a Macintosh that I guess I'd eaten a delicious Macintosh. And in that case, I'd thrown the apple into a potted plant when I was living in DC. So it's the perfect weather also for apples. It has to be a cold part of the year. Apples wouldn't do well in Florida unless you have like a chilled environment part of the year, which you can with air conditioning. You probably could, but I wonder if it's worth the cost of the electricity to provide the cooling period for a few months. And it's probably easier just to import them from Washington State or whatever. So I do talk a lot. Well, but if you're not from the United States, maybe that's of interest to you because of the different parts of the United States. We get our apples from the north, from Washington State, or up, even the Northeast. New York State has some apple orchards. Corn comes from, well, potatoes come from Idaho. I know that. Corn comes from that area too. Or next to Idaho is a place known more for corn. It's not Idaho. It's next to Idaho. It's going to drive me crazy now. Wisconsin, maybe. Anyway, I can't get too sidetracked. I got to prepare for so that's basically it. So I'm trying to find the best location. How's the sound? The sound is great with no air on, but I'm getting hot. So I think what I'm going to have to do is have the air on, but then when I do the actual live, turn it off. And then if I start to get too hot doing the live, there it goes. So I could put this on loud. So how's the sound now? If anybody is willing to talk. Is the sound okay? I mean, I know you hear the air, but how bad is it? Is there much of a difference? Well, now you've heard me without the air, so nobody wants to talk. All right. Doug knitting sweater was too small for you, but posted on Etsy, gum chewing, making my bed and oh, thank you. So, all right. So I'll just do a practice run with something that I actually want to sell. If he wants to buy it. So here, but they're all in a big pile. I really need to set them up so it'll be quick. Also, because I'm going to have to turn off the air conditioning. So I'll start the live, turn off the air conditioning, and then I'll have the outfits prepared. Okay, well, here's this blouse that's for sale. I like to pair it with a pair of, jeans, for example. Look how nice that looks. And I've got to do it all in, and I've got to not raise my arm. I'm going to wear something long sleeved. You can't. The things you have to think about when you're over 40. All right. I'm over 50. Those of you who don't know, I'm not 60. I'm in between 50 and 60. I'll leave it at that. But so I'm gonna wear, see, and if I wear something with long sleeves, I'm gonna get hot because I'm gonna have to turn off the air for the sound. Like this whole, all this stuff I'm gonna have to deal with. So maybe I'll, yeah, and I'm gonna have to hold my arms up to show the, because that webcam is so small. I wonder if I could, I don't know how to do it from my phone. I have my phone. I don't know how to, yeah, of course I could do a live from my phone. That's how everybody else does it. On Poshmark, what happens is then I hold up the clothes. I have to have them in the Poshmark shop ready to go, though, for people to click on and buy, which isn't too hard. I got to take a picture of each thing, put it in there. It's, see, that's why it's not, I mean, I could just go on live and it just gets, if you don't do it right from the beginning, it just gets complicated at the end. Because sure, I could go on the live without having anybody of them ready to click. But likely, if people don't buy right there at the impulse buy, looking at the wrong camera, you know, that's called an impulse buy. You see it on the camera. The lady presenting is beautiful. You know, I'll do what I can. I'll put on makeup and stuff. She looks so great in that outfit. Oh, I could do that too. You know, and oh, impulse buy, and they buy it. And it's cheap because I'm going to have the prices like low, which is hard for me because some of these are worth, some of them are, I paid more than probably what I'm going to be selling them for. So, but if you guys, when I do the live, I'm on Poshmark. Shoot, I should have put my Poshmark shop link. Well, I'll have that in the live because so I'll do the live, but I'm thinking of signing up for StreamYard so that I'll do the live on Poshmark, but the people on the other channels that watch me can also see me doing it. And then also show them then, because if I don't sell on Poshmark, then if there's any stuff that you guys saw that you liked, maybe it'll still be available, and then we can arrange it separately off. Because on Poshmark, I have to pay a fee and I have to pay a percentage. So it would be better for me to deal directly, you know, with people. But at first, I'll just sell through the venue, you know, and I still make some money because my goal isn't so much making money, but getting rid of junk. I have a lot of clothes. I have a lot of stuff. There's even stuff that I wonder is worth the shipping cost, though. The clothes would be worth the shipping. The clothes can be light, and I could throw in some freebies, and there's a pay one price within the U.S. I doubt I'll have any foreigners. I could. And if they want to buy from abroad and really want to pay the shipping, I mean, I'd have to figure out what the shipping is. But, you know, maybe, again, I'll probably have to do that on the tail end. First, sell as much as I can on Poshmark. Whatever's left, if there's something that people from the other venues maybe happen to be watching, like it, they can say, hey, do you still have the XYZ? Or they could go to my Poshmark shop and see if it's still in there. But I've got a few freebies that I'm going to throw in, like a used stuff. Some of it's used, not all of it. I've got all these hair scrunchies that I have a friend who constantly gives me hair scrunchies. I don't know why, like, you know, rubber bands. I don't use them. I always use these clips, which she also gives me. And I use the clips a lot. So I've got this whole bag of scrunchies, you know, which I'm thinking, like, I could just give these out as gifts to people, you know. But it's like this, just all scrunchies, brand new, like, that I've never used most of them. Some of them I might use once or twice, you know. Some of them are, I opened the packaging because they came in a package of 3, for example. Like this one, maybe. Yeah, like, see, this is a package of 3. So I had to, you know, there's a little plastic strap there showing you that they've never been used. But on some of them, I did open the package and used one of the scrunchies, but the other 2 scrunchies are brand new. So, you know, I'm selling those too. Like this one, I think I've never used, but it came in a package with other ones. So, oh gosh, they're falling out. Even this bag is not big enough. So, you know, I'm thinking, okay, and with every purchase, 1 free or 3 free scrunchies, or, you know, throw that in. I've got some, well, again, another gift, but I'm not going to use it. It's beautiful. That's why I'm not going to use it. It's a fabric. I don't want to open it because, see, if I open it, it's no longer, I could open it online, but it's like a made in China, you know, it's a cute little fabric. Oh, showing it at the wrong camera. You know, a little fabric bag with some zippers there. And it's got a, here you can hang it on your wrist. You know, you could go out with that or use it. Some people might use it for makeup. I might use it to go out, you know, when I don't need to take a lot of stuff. Actually, yeah, put my cell phone in there, some change, a few bills, a credit card. You know, you don't need much sometimes to go out, especially if you're going out at night. You know, it's got a print. It's kind of shiny. I could see a young lady using that to go out, you know, dancing. Because, you know, when you're dancing, you have it hanging on your wrist, kind of like it's hanging on your wrist and you're holding it like this. So, you know, you can dance or wherever, however you dance. But if you need to grab something or a drink or you need to use your other hand, you just let go and it's still dangling. I've always thought this was such a great idea for going out for anyone, but for women in particular, because we need our lipstick, we need our cell phone, we like to have our, you know, our ID and credit card, you know, but a clutch purse is dangerous. And they come with a little strap too, but it's dangerous. A clutch purse is very easy to forget. You know, whereas this one, you just always have the wrist on your. Now, of course, you could get robbed. I mean, that a little flimsy strap isn't going to help you. But this is more for you not to forget it somewhere, which is a way to get robbed too, because you forget your purse. Then somebody might be nice and be a good Samaritan, or like what happened to me when I lost my suitcase. The person called to ask me for money to give me my suitcase back, and didn't even have my suitcase. Young ladies, don't forget your purses. So see, that's what I'm going to say on the show. Like I'll give that. I'm not going to talk about the suitcase. See, I got to remember when I'm selling, I got to keep the negative out. I got to, you know, young ladies, so that you don't forget your purse. And oh, goodness. All right. Nobody's saying anything. All right. Well, give me some advice. I'm very nervous. Sorry, I have, you know, again, someone gave me a present, you know, and I appreciate because I have long hair. I guess it's a hint to me. Why don't you do something with your hair? Because I only ever have it flipped up. And I'm actually considering cutting my hair to, like, you know, short, you know, not buzz cut short, but, you know, pretty kind of short with a little length. But, you know, I'm thinking about it because all I ever do is tie it up anyway. So I may as well have short hair, you know, and then I might actually look a little more put together because short hair, and I have curly hair, it usually curls up and it's pretty easy to make look good when it's short. If I'm willing to do a little bit of work, I mean, granted, it could look very horribly frizzy too. And then what do I do? At least this way I can put it. That's my other thing. If it looks horrible when it's short, how do I hide it? Like I maybe have to get used to wearing a turban or something, which, you know, I'm not really, you know, that's not my thing, wearing a turban or scarf. But you know what I think looks really cute? This is like way off on a tangent, but I could discuss this on the show also. But I can't find it now. Is when people have short hair, but then they put one of those headbands, you know, on. I think that's so cute. I have a little headband. So I would definitely do that. If I had short hair, I would definitely do the headband. In wintertime, I put like a headband so you could see the short hair in the back. And then there's the headband here that's made of like a warm knit something. So it covers your ears and you stay warm and your hair is there keeping you warm. So that's another, I saw that in Paris back in the 80s. They might still do it, but I just thought it was very chic because they'd have that and then they might have their pearls and they would wear blue jeans. So they were like dressed up chic. They were like dressed up jeans. They would wear blue jeans, but with pumps and pearls and yeah, then they might have an informal hairstyle. So they're dressed down in their hair, but then have one of those headbands and maybe a turtleneck if it was winter. And they're so, and it's something they would throw together, but they looked so good. Maybe sometimes they'd tie on a scarf, you know, if it was not freezing cold winter, of course, then they'd have a big coat on, but yet very elegant young ladies over there in Paris. I remember. And at that time, I was overweight. I had pimples. I spoke the language sort of. I mean, I was a student learning the language, so I didn't have such a. I had a very eye-opening year as far as fashion and beauty and different types of beauty too. At the time, the beauty standard was thin. Period. There was no, body positivity stuff. You're not thin. You're so and I was overweight at the time. Anyway, you have to be confident in Paris. It doesn't matter if you're overweight, if you're whatever. You have to be confident. I haven't been back since the 90s, actually. I think I went back. No, I think I went back in the early 90s. I haven't been back to Europe since, actually. I went back when I was young, and I should go take a trip to France again. See, but I'm going to assume the women are still the way they were. They say there's a lot more influences from immigrants now than there was at the time that I went, but not that that's bad or good. I'm just saying maybe the styles have changed since, but Paris was once known as the fashion capital of the world. That's where you looked for all of the styles. They used to be. I don't think so anymore, unfortunately, because cultures change, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but when there's immigration, cultures change, and you embrace new cultures, and which we're used to in the United States, but we're not used to seeing that in Europe, because even Europe has always maintained their culture, even among themselves. You had the Italians, the French, the Spaniards, the Germans. Did I say Italians? They all had their own cultures, even though they lived side by side. They helped each other in business. The European Union, all that stuff. Britain obviously had their own culture, and they lived side by side fine. There weren't wars between them. Sure, it was all based on the Western mentality, but Italian culture is extremely different from the Italians. That's my culture. We speak with our hands a lot, and even the Spaniards are also very fashioned. The culture is that way. We don't want to take it too far and say it's genetic or whatever, but some of that is true. Some of it is the environment you're raised in or whatever. And the British culture is very reserved. So imagine, I bet you if the Italians had to live next to the Brits, there would be war. There isn't, because you've got all this buffer zone in between, because you've got Portugal and Italy, and Spain is kind of like Italy. They're kind of similar, Latin cultures, Latino, similar to most of Latin American culture, but very. And then you have, you'll move up a little more, and what's next up there? Well, you got Germany, and I'm actually, what's right next? Well, we have France. Okay, France, you've got some of the Latin culture influence, because that's a Latin country too, but it's in a Latin language. But they're a little more civilized. Maybe it's because they've developed, the gourmet and the wines and the cheese. So they were able to, perhaps because of their agriculture and whatever, and their culture of food, all cultures have their food, but the French, again, somehow were able to make themselves stand out as the culinary, experts, and for a good reason, because most of the world's cuisines, aside from the Asians, are based on French cuisine, the basics of French cuisine. You've got here I go way on these tangents, but it's all connected, guys. The longer you live, the more you realize you have the mirepoix, which is you have a turnip, an onion, a carrot or two, some celery. I think that's it. You make a stock out of that, and that stock is what flavors a lot of the French foods. They use that soup to flavor, mixing it with other stuff to change, to this, to make it creamier, to make it. But that mirepoix is called. And then ratatouille has that in there. You've got the carrot, the celery, the turnip, the about it. And that's the problem with Israel and Palestine, or with you got Lebanon over there, but they've got some Christians that kind of even things out a bit. But so I'm selling clothes. See, I can't do this on the live, guys. That's why I'm going to do a practice run here. I cannot go on these tangents. I'm selling clothes. I got to be selling clothes. Okay, let me get something and I'm doing practice. Oh, good Lord. All right. So let's see. Well, see. Oh, okay. Here's what I'll do. Okay. So I got this dress used. This is a used dress, but see, I'm not going to come on like that. I'm going to say, hey, here is this dress. It's made by American Rag. It's a strapless dress that I've worn in the past when I was young. You can't even see it though. It's a long down to the floor dress made of, you won't have to iron. I always buy no iron stuff as much as possible. You can throw it in the wash, maybe air dry it because it dries very quickly, but just I've thrown it in the wash. It still looks very good quality because the fabric is not a fabric that deteriorates. It smells like what I washed it in. It smells like the detergent because I've washed all of these clothes that I'm selling. I just washed them. That's also why I want to sell them quick while they still smell nice. And some people are willing to buy used clothes, knowing also that I'm the only one who's ever used it. And really, there's nothing. I mean, I've worn strapless bra, so I've never even worn it directly on myself. If that makes it, I can't go into that. People know that. I'll just tell them it has been washed. I use it with a strapless bra. I've worn it to parties and I've worn it out, to a happy hour, or I've worn it to like not a super, super duper fancy party, maybe. Although I guess dressing it up, you could, it's sort of a humble, I could see someone with styling. Yeah, I will say that too. Someone with good styling knowledge could make themselves even a prom dress, like accessorizing properly, because it's sort of a humble American Rag, even the name. Yeah, no, I got a lot to say about this one, so that'll work. And if you buy today at our low price of, because I'm on my bargain prices, I'm trying to move my products, I'm trying to get my stuff out. I'll throw in this squad bathing suit, which is matching. The straps match, but the size is the problem. Let's see, because the size of this one is one that I've used. And it's, and it's made of that stretchy material. So it could go on someone larger than me, but it at one point it'll be too small for someone with large hips. Okay, but this is a medium, actually. It's a size medium. Made of polyester. Polyester is no iron, no ironing. That's why I have offer up in Florida. That and Mercari are good hitters for items like the ones you're selling. Mercari, oh. I'll look into Mercari. I have Etsy and I have Poshmark. Maybe I'll do a Mercari. I'll look into that. I opened a pop shop for a bit. I just, sure, I could go on all the venues and I'd have a better chance of selling, but then I've got to be following up on all the venues. So right now I'm going to pick the ones I'm familiar with, which are Poshmark and Etsy. Some of these clothes are over 20. I think to sell on Etsy, they have to be considered vintage, and it has to be, I think it's 20 years. They have to be at least 20 years old for you to sell as vintage, which I have some stuff, not even clothes, but stuff. I have old cassette tapes, which, you'd think, oh, throw them out. But there are actually people who collect old memorabilia, and they might want some of my cassette tapes because I think I have Men at Work, some of the groups from the 1990s. I even have BJ Thomas, who's like from the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. There may be people who, even young people who want to recapture those old memorabilia from the old times. Anyway, all right, so I think I'm ready. What I'm not ready is I got to prepare all the outfits so that it'll be quick. I'll be like, I have this, I'll have this, I'll throw in this Yeah, I'm going to pair these two. Well, I'll offer this bathing suit, a used bathing suit. What's the size? It's not small. I washed it. It's actually belonged to a friend of mine. Oh, it's a large. Okay, it's a large. If you've got, it's not, for petite girls. It's for lifeguardy girls, girls who can, either over, I don't want to say overweight. Girls that are not tiny. Let's leave it at that. It's a large, but who can look excellent in a suit like this. Especially the lifeguards you have some female lifeguards that get very built up because they work out, because they're the lifeguards that work at the beaches, where it's tough, like Baywatch type of rescues, which I never felt. I used to be a lifeguard, but I never ever even considered working at a beach, because that's out in the open ocean. You gotta, you all get the same certificate when you get your lifeguard certificate. It's a weekend course, basically. You gotta, but know your limits. And I was in my 20s when I got my lifeguard certificate. And I said, there's no way I'm going to the, plus I'm kind of afraid of sharks and stuff. I've never been attacked or anything, but I'm not afraid of little animals, like little animals in the ocean, fish, and, even the little crabs, even larger crabs, but they can't really hurt you. I love catching and showing, if you go to the beach, you catch and you show how the little kids are playing, their families go in some of the beaches here in Florida. Yeah, and we have hermit crab races. You can't be too mean to the hermit crab. You got to be careful, because the kids then start to get a little too playful with those hermit crabs. And I try to tell them, remember, he's scared of us. But, it's easy to catch them. They're all over. So we catch them. We have a hermit crab race, Oh, he wins. That's fun. Too bad I'm not a kid, because I would have all these fun things but I'm a great godmother. All right, so I did that. What's next? So, all right, so I kind of have an idea what I have to do, but I have to do it. That's the other thing. Now I'm kind of lazy because, I got to do all this organizing of the clothes, but that should be fun. So I'm going to do that. All right, I think I'm more on track of what I have to do. I'd like to do it tonight, Sunday night, I got to figure out the shipping, and I got to figure out the outfits. So that's my next step. Figure out the shipping and figure out what outfits I'm going to actually show and offer. And then I got to put them on Poshmark. So I got a lot to do. I actually don't think I'll be ready for tonight. I don't feel emotionally ready, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Nike, just do it. All right. Thanks, guys, for helping me out watching. And I got to get that stuff going. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone. Right here. Bye-bye.